शिक्षा, सूचना र मनोरञ्जनको संवाहक हिमशिखर टेलिभिजन।
स्पोन्सर्ड बाय
अरणीको उच्चमावि विराटनगर 13 3 टोलिया। फोन नम्बर 021 470 149 र 622 092।
कञ्चनजङ्घा हायर सेकेन्डरी स्कुल, मेन रोड, विराटनगर। फोन नम्बर 021 470264 471473।
लॉर्ड बुद्ध कॉलेज, विराटनगर। +2 मैनेजमेंट, +2 होटल मैनेजमेंट, +2 साइंस, +2 कंप्यूटर साइंस, EBS and MBS।
मनमोहन स्मृति पॉलिटेक्निकल। फोन नंबर 021 62 20 58 42 08 76। मदर टेरेसा स्कूल, विराटनगर 12 VIP मार्ग। फोन नंबर 021 525325।
मदरलैंड स्कूल, जमुना गाछी, विराटनगर 5। कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर 9842041511।
स्वागत छ दर्शकवृन्द। कार्यक्रम मेजरी सुमा म भोपाल रिटर्न। दर्शकवृन्द, चन्द्रमामा पहिलो पटक मान्छेले पाइला टेकेको नै 45 वर्षबाट माथि उकालो लागेको छ। अझ मानवको अन्तरिक्ष यात्राको कुरा गर्ने हो भने त 52 वर्षभन्दा पनि माथि नै भइसकेको छ। तर नेपालले समेत अन्तरिक्ष विज्ञानको शान्तिपूर्ण प्रयोग गर्ने सहमति पत्रमा हस्ताक्षर गरेको वर्षौं भइसक्दा पनि त्यसबाट खासै उपलब्धि भने हासिल हुन सकेको छैन। यो परिस्थितिका बीच नेपालमा नासाको कुनै केन्द्रीय तहको व्यक्ति आउनु त अझ ठूलो विषय बन्न सक्छ, तर त्यो विषय त्यति ठूलो विषय पनि बनेन हाम्रा लागि। किनकि एभरेस्ट साइन्स सेन्टर शान्तिवन सुनसरीले को निम्तालाई स्वीकार गर्दै नासाकी म्यानेजर एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्क नेपाल भ्रमणमा आउनुभयो र विराटनगरमा रहेर नेपालमा वैज्ञानिकहरूको सम्भावना, विशेषतः साइन्सको क्षेत्रमा सम्भावना के छ भनेर सम्भाव्यता अध्ययन गर्ने क्रममा हिमशिखर टेलिभिजनले विशेषतः विभिन्न क्षेत्रका विद्यालय जसले विज्ञान र टेक्नोलोजी प्रविधिसँग चासो राख्दछन् त्यस्ता विभिन्न 6वटा विद्यालयसँग तथा कलेजहरूसँग हिमशिखर टेलिभिजनले एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्कसँग अन्तर्क्रिया पनि गराइसकेको छ। जुन कुरा तपाईले प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारणको माध्यमबाट वीरेन्द्र सभागृह विराटनगरबाट सायदै दिउँसो हेर्नुभयो होला। यदि भ्याउनु भएन भने आज हामी एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्क नेपाल आउनुको कारण यहाँ के पाउनुभयो भन्ने सवालमा आज हामीले विशेष अन्तर्वार्ता एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्कसँग मेजरी सुमै गरेका छौं। हामी सुरुमा एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्कसँग गरिएको अन्तर्वार्ताको आधी घण्टाको अंश प्रस्तुत गर्छौं। त्यसपछि एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्कलाई नेपाल भित्र्याउनु पर्ने कारण, नेपाल ल्याउनु पर्ने कारण किन, के थियो, आवश्यकता किन महसुस गरिएको थियो, अप्ठ्यारो, साह्रो, गाह्रो या सजिलो या सम्भावना या चुनौतीका कुरा के छन् भनेर एभरेस्ट साइन्स सेन्टर शान्तिवन सुनसरीका सञ्चालक डाक्टर दिलीप अधिकारीसँग प्रत्यक्ष कुराकानी गर्नेछौं भने त्यसअघि चाहिँ अहिले हामी एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्क जो नासाकी म्यानेजर हुनुहुन्छ उहाँसँग सहकर्मी बीपी कोइरालाले गर्नुभएको विशेष अन्तर्वार्ता प्रस्तुत गर्छौं। त्यसपछि हामी डाक्टर दिलीप अधिकारीसँग प्रत्यक्ष कुराकानी लिएर आउँदैछौं। अहिले चाहिँ एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्कसँग सहकर्मी बीपी कोइरालाले गर्नुभएको यो विशेष अन्तर्वार्ता।
You are welcome to our talk show.
Thank you.
Is this your first visit of Nepal?
Yes, it is.
Have you get time to see our scenery of Nepal or beauty of Nepal or not?
Just very briefly, but yes, it's beautiful. I'm really enjoying my time here.
All right. Let me pay attention on your vision now. What is your main purpose, main vision to visit Nepal this time?
Yes, my main purpose for being here is to be able to spread interest and curiosity about the science and technology education.
Right. Many people in Nepal are not aware about your agency. What is NASA? How do you explain what is NASA and what is your main vision of your agency?
Okay, so NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So our main mission is to put both people and satellites and other types of instruments out into space. Our mission is to explore the universe and to learn as much as we can about the world and the space that we live in.
Recently, our Everest Science Center Santivan exhibit Moonrock provided by NASA.
Yes.
And we're very happy for that all. We Nepali people are proud of that all. Can we hope some more materials from your agency in the future?
Absolutely. This was just, I think, the beginning of being able to do exhibits. So my role with the Johnson Space Center, which is one of the centers in the United States with NASA, we have multiple centers, about 11 of them. And my main role is the exhibits manager for the Johnson Space Center. So my job is to provide exhibits for museums around the world. And yes, I certainly hope that this is just the beginning.
All right. For Nepali students, space research is not possible for them. In such condition, is there any assistance plan from your side?
Oh, we certainly, as NASA, it's part of our core mission is to educate people on what it is that we do. And we're probably the only agency besides the Department of Education within the United States government whose core mission is to educate. So we have all sorts of programs and abilities for students all around the world to get engaged with NASA. So yes, we have people from Nepal who work for NASA. So it's definitely more than possible to have all sorts of opportunities with NASA.
All right. Actually, for developing countries like Nepal, the space research is like a dream for them.
Yeah.
How do you think will their dream comes true or not?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, we actually do have employees from Nepal working for NASA right now. In fact, we have one from Qatar right now who works for NASA. So although it seems like a stretched dream, it is more than possible. We have employees from developing countries all around the world. We have employees from North Korea. We have employees from Vietnam. We have employees from India. We even have an astronaut from India. So, it's certainly more than possible, and we encourage, people from any developing country to come and work for us. That's really our greatest asset is people from different places with differing views. That's what makes us so great.
What will be your next step?
Well, right now we're working on a new mission. Our next mission is to go out and lasso an asteroid. So that's a rock out in the middle of space. We want to lasso it, bring it back into Earth's orbit so that we can land people on it and study it. So that's our next big mission. And so we need a lot of really smart minds to figure out how to do that. We're working on building a rocket and to put people out there to go do that. So I'm hoping that we've got some students out there right now that are interested in coming out and learning how to do that.
As I heard that NASA is planning to establish Human Society in space, is that right?
Yes.
What I want to say is to establish Human Society in space, it is powerful or just a need of this time?
No, I think there is a real need for us to develop, this a presence in space. Being able to do that is what is going to really benefit us back here on Earth, especially for developing countries. Take, for example, right now we have the International Space Station, which is an orbiting station that's out there right now. It's been there for 15 years. We have astronauts living on it right now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the last 15 years. Being able to do that has allowed us to figure out how to purify water, for example. And right now, in developing countries, water purification is a serious problem. And what we've been able to do is develop and miniaturize water purification in such a way that it's very low cost, very low energy, and it can kill up to like 99.9% of the bacteria and viruses and protozoa in water. That's a major breakthrough, and that's massive for benefit to our society, to our people on Earth right now. Telemedicine, that's another big one for developing countries.
Let me put the same question in another way. Your agency is spending money for this space research in a huge amount, right? Yeah,
Yes.
Obviously your agency, the scientific research agency, are spending huge amount of money. And what I want to know is, for the developing countries like Nepal, the people in the backward countries, they are far away from fulfill their basic needs, right?
Right.
So how do you take it?
Yes. Okay. So, when we spend our money on developing these technologies, the whole idea isn't for us just to develop these technologies and then keep these technologies for ourselves. That's not what the whole purpose of this is. The purpose is to develop these technologies and then to give it back. So NASA's core mission is to give back all of this technology. So we take and spend the money and develop all of this, and then we turn that money and that technology back out into the public. So it's not like it's the United States that holds that technology. We turn that back over to the public. And so we have taken all of our technology. For example, we have a telemedicine technology that we developed, and it's now being used around the world, in Brazil and in far reaches of Canada and in different places all around the world that is saving lives now.
Sponsored by
अरनिको उच्चमावि विराटनगर 13 3 टोलिया फोन नम्बर 021 470 149 र 622 092
कञ्चनजङ्घा हायर सेकेन्डरी स्कुल मेन रोड विराटनगर फोन नम्बर 021 470264 471473
Lord Buddha College, Viratnagar. +2 Management, +2 Hotel Management, +2 Science, +2 Computer Science, EBS and MBS.
मनमोहन स्मृति पोलिटेक्निकल फोन नम्बर 021 62 20 58 42 08 76 मदर टेरेसा स्कुल विराटनगर 12 VIP मार्ग फोन नम्बर 021 525325
Motherland School, Jamunagachi, Viratnagar 5. Contact number 9842041511. People still worship space as a god.
Oh yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And as well as blindly believe on astrology.
Yes.
In which way you take belief of the people?
Sure. Okay. Well, obviously, NASA studies space from a scientific standpoint, and that's our mission is to do that. But if you talk to our astronauts when they get up into space, it is an extremely spiritual event for them. I don't think you can gaze up into the stars without it being a spiritual event for yourself.
Right.
The first time I ever saw, we have this video about our Earth observation, and it's a video that we took from the International Space Station that that looks back down at our Earth, and it's so beautiful and it's so moving, and I cried the first time I saw it because it's so moving. It really brings home to yourself the interconnectedness of our species, of our people, of our universe, of ourselves, of us to God, or of us to whatever higher power you may believe in, or I don't know how you cannot be moved. So although NASA's purpose is to study it from a scientific point of view, absolutely. I think there's always, from at least a human point of view, I think there's a spirituality there. That's not NASA's position, but
it's your own point of view.
That's my own point of view. There's always we're all human, and there's human points of view there. Sure.
As you talk about spirituality, many people believe on spirituality, and people believe that there is some consciousness behind it. One power is there, one power left, one reason left at the end of all the research. Is there any scientific reason? What do you think?
Is there a scientific reason for that?
Yeah.
I don't know of one yet, but that's not to say that we won't find one.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. It's incredible what we're finding every day. We're finding out that the universe is so much older than we ever imagined, and so much larger than we ever imagined, and that we're such a tiny piece of it. It's so powerful when you really get to understand just how minute we are in the vast scheme of things. So it's very possible.
Are you inspired by any philosophers?
Sure. Am I familiar with philosophers? Oh, sure. We in America have to take lots and lots of philosophy classes.
Right. Interesting.
So I am well read in Confucius and in Buddhism and in Thomas Aquinas and in so I've read many different philosophers. I've Greek philosophy. I've done a lot of reading in Greek philosophy, and so it just yes.
Many philosophers are trying to merge this spirituality and scientific reason behind it.
Yes.
What is your point of view on that?
I think there's a place for philosophy and science to meet.
All right.
I think there's a truth behind everything. Of course, that's just the Beth point of view and not necessarily the NASA point of view. But I do. I think there's a place that philosophy and science have to meet. And I think that's where science gets a lot of its inspiration from. I think philosophy is where we get a lot of our curiosity to explore. And without philosophy, I'm not sure that we would really have the drive as a human nature to want to look further outside of ourselves and continue that exploration.
Now let us come to the context of Nepal. Yesterday in the press meet, you told that Nepal is a productive land for scientific research, right?
Yes.
How do you think, how can we grow up this field?
First and foremost, you just have to be curious. That's really, you have to be curious and you have to continue asking questions. Without that, you're not going to go very far. One of the wonderful things about Nepal is the fact that you all are a developing country. And there's no place better to be curious than in a developing country. United States, for all that we are and as great of a country as we are, we're developed, and I think that we tend to not ask as many questions anymore. And I think that's because we're already where we're at. Nepal has so many places to go. I think because you're developing, you actually have more opportunities to ask questions, and more opportunities, really to find the next great thing. That's really where innovation gets driven out of need. And so, I think there's a real possibility of a lot of great things to come out of here.
Sponsored by
अरनिको उच्चमावि विराटनगर 13 3 टोलिया फोन नम्बर 021 470 149 र 622 092
कञ्चनजङ्घा हायर सेकेन्डरी स्कुल मेन रोड विराटनगर फोन नम्बर 021 470264 471473
Lord Buddha College, Viratnagar. +2 Management, +2 Hotel Management, +2 Science, +2 Computer Science, EBS and MBS.
मनमोहन स्मृति पोलिटेक्निकल फोन नम्बर 021 62 20 58 42 08 76 मदर टेरेसा स्कुल विराटनगर 12 VIP मार्ग फोन नम्बर 021 525325
Motherland School, Jamunagasi, Viratnagar 5. Contact number 9842041511. The problem for Nepali students is that there is no scope for the future. Yesterday told that there is some assistant program for Nepali students. What kind of program do you have?
Okay. So actually, we have all sorts of programs out of NASA, and they're free. And they can be done over the internet or via email for any student around the world. Take, for example, with the International Space Station, we actually do experiments up on the International Space Station that we develop with students. And we do this on a very regular basis. And you can participate, help develop an experiment that goes up on the International Space Station. You can watch that experiment and see how it's conducted, and then when it comes back, see what the results were. We recently had one that students around the world helped to develop that went up. It was about spiders and how spiders might adapt to being able to live in the space environment. And students came up with that idea, and we sent it up, and they watched how the spider lived and how it adapted, and then when it came back, they interpreted the results. And to be honest with you, it was really fascinating to watch. We had no idea how it was going to turn out. We had never done that type of experiment before. It was really the students' concepts. And it was really interesting. So the spiders reacted very much like a human body would. They were very confused at first. They couldn't figure out how to spin a web. And it took them a while, and the web eventually became a nice, pretty web. And they figured out how to catch their food eventually. And then when they came back to Earth, they were very confused and couldn't figure out how to catch their food at first. And it took them a while before they could spin their web and catch their food again. So it was very analogous to how we as humans adapt to space and space flight. So it was really, to me, it was very fascinating that the students could come up with such a complex experiment and fly it. So these are the kinds of interactions that we have available for students all around the world. And again, it's free to students.
You're talking about experiments. For Nepali students, the problem is there is a lack of scientific lab.
They don't need a lab. That's the wonderful thing about this. So we produce the experiment. We just need the students' ideas and the communication. So you don't need the lab. You don't need any facility. You just need to be able to communicate by mail or by email or by phone or So all you need to be able to do is be in your classroom with your teacher, and that's all you need. It can be outside. You can be out. You can be under the stars with your teacher if that's all you have. So we've tried to keep it as friendly as possible to any country and to whatever the resources are that are available. So yes, I understand. You don't need any fancy facility at all.
But to think about in that level, in that mentality, to create that mentality, it needs a special environment, right?
You just need an environment of curiosity is what you need.
Environment of curiosity, but from where curiosity comes?
I think you need an environment where you can believe that you have a possibility and you have an option. And truly, that's why I'm here, because I want to help inspire people here to know that there really is an opportunity and there are options that are available. Again, I mean, that's my whole purpose for being here. Because Nepal is a developing country, I mean, I know, there's a lot of struggles here, and I know that. But, out of struggle is where innovation comes from. And, that's exactly what we need. That's what NASA needs. We have wonderful Nepalese employees, and that's what we need. So, I think that's, exactly where the next great thing's going to come from.
When we talk about Nepali youth, they are still confused about their career, what to do in the future. But in your life, in your school life, in your childhood, you get many opportunities as you were born in developed countries, right? Why you choose this field? Why you choose scientific and technology field?
Okay, so for me, I chose it because it was sort of my local factory, so to speak. So I grew up right next to NASA, and it was, I was surrounded by it. So it was my environment. It was it was what I was just sort of used to. I grew up in a neighborhood where, you could grow up to be a garbage man, you could grow up to be a teacher, you could grow up to be an astronaut, you could grow up to be a farmer. And I really didn't know any better. I didn't understand that was different or unusual. Even in the United States, mind you, that's not normal. And I didn't get that that's not normal because I only lived about 7 kilometers from the Johnson Space Center. So I just didn't get it. Okay, so I didn't understand. And so I grew up with it just being a passion, being surrounded by it all the time. My friends' dads were astronauts.
Are you really interested from your inner level, not only superficial, but from inside? Does your heart say you are totally satisfied?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love what I do. It's deep within my heart and deep within my soul. Before I started doing, speaking out as a public affairs officer, I was designing spacesuits. So I've been in this environment for a very long time, and I left the spacesuits in order to talk to people, to get out and share my passion.
Sponsored by
अरणीको उच्चमावि विराटनगर 13 3 टोलिया फोन नम्बर 021 470 149 र 622 092।
कञ्चनजङ्घा हायर सेकेन्डरी स्कुल मेन रोड विराटनगर फोन नम्बर 021 470264 471473।
Lord Buddha College, Viratnagar. +2 Management, +2 Hotel Management, +2 Science, +2 Computer Science, EBS and MBS.
मनमोहन स्मृति पोलिटेक्निकल फोन नम्बर 021 62 20 58 42 08 76। मदर टेरेसा स्कुल विराटनगर 12 VIP मार्ग फोन नम्बर 021 525325।
Motherland School, Jamunagachi, Viratnagar 5. Contact number 9840041511. In every field, there are some advantages, disadvantages, beauty, and challenges. What is beauty? What are the challenges in your field?
So beauty in my field, there's plenty. There's so much beauty in it. So obviously, getting an opportunity to see how interconnected we are as a species, having an opportunity to innovate and do new things. Science is incredible that way. Mathematics is incredible that way because you can really see the order of life. And it's in everything we do, and you begin to really understand that it's in the water we drink, in the crops that we grow, in the air that we breathe. It's wonderful when you see the beauty of that. The challenges, certainly, we all have our everyday lives that we have to face. There's the challenges of not enough clean drinking water. There's challenges of not enough good nutrition. There's the challenges of insufficient housing, poor roads, etc., and not enough money, not enough jobs. I don't care if you live in Nepal or you live in the United States or where, Brazil. We all face some of those same problems. We all face those same challenges.
But when you go more deeply, what we will find is quality education. How do you define quality education in the context of Nepal?
I just saw quality education. Quality education is having, teachers, professors that are engaged and helping their students learn and want to learn and ask the right questions. It's trying to, investigate what's going on around them. It's trying to find the opportunities for their students every day. It's looking out and trying to see what the environment is around you and saying, okay, what does that mean and why does it mean that? That to me is the quality education. And I saw that today. So Nepal definitely has quality education.
Many of the students are seeking better quality education and they are going abroad for seeking quality education, right? What we are lacking over here?
What are you lacking over here? I think probably some of it has to do with more of a perception than it is an actuality of a true lacking. I saw quality education today. So I'm not sure that you really are lacking anything as much as I think it's a perception of a lacking. I think you probably are seeing on TV or in movies about universities or colleges in other countries and thinking, okay, I want to go there. But I definitely saw quality today.
What are the poor factors you found in Nepal related to science and technology?
Let's see. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to answer that, to be honest with you. I don't know what to answer that with. I think a lot of times we try to be in this mindset of I have to have something specific in order to achieve. And I don't think you have to have some material object in order to achieve. I think you have to have a drive inside yourself in order to achieve. I don't think it has to be something material. As long as you have an interest and a curiosity and a drive to learn, I don't think you need a government or a material object or an internet or, I think it can come from within, and a curiosity and a questioning and and looking around you and an exploration.
If I accept your point of view, then there are many curious students.
Yes.
So still there is the problem.
Yes, there are many curious students, and I think that those students have plenty of opportunity. It would take a lot of work on their part to continue on, and I think that Nepal again is developing, and so there is a lack of jobs still, and a lack of work. But again, U.S. still also has lack of jobs and work. That's again a struggle that I think the whole world's economy has right now. That's not something that only Nepal has. So I think it's the students themselves. I don't think are any worse off from that perspective than anywhere else. I think they are just as able to succeed. I was so impressed today by the students that I met. So intelligent, so driven to succeed, and I expect that they will go very far.
Sponsored by
अरणीको उच्चमावि विराटनगर 13 3 टोलिया फोन नम्बर 021 470 149 र 622 092।
कञ्चनजङ्घा हायर सेकेन्डरी स्कुल मेन रोड विराटनगर फोन नम्बर 021 470264 471473।
Lord Buddha College, Viratnagar. +2 Management, +2 Hotel Management, +2 Science, +2 Computer Science, EBS and MBS.
मनमोहन स्मृति पोलिटेक्निकल फोन नम्बर 021 62 20 58 42 08 76। मदर टेरेसा स्कुल विराटनगर 12 VIP मार्ग फोन नम्बर 021 525325।
Motherland School, Jamunagachi, Viratnagar 5. Contact number 9842041511. In my own life, my educational background is different and my interest is different. The problem is there is no future scope in this sector.
Yeah.
And similarly, there are many science-related students, and there are many problems. What is your point of view on that?
I think it's still a challenge, but I think it's also a challenge that can be overcome. I think students have the ability to build things that they need. As difficult as that is, it doesn't take money. I think students can always reach out to institutions like NASA for help in investigating. Because we certainly are interested in helping to promote that type of interest in education. We have, like I said, we have publications and information that we can provide to help out with education. So it's definitely definitely I think something that is possible to overcome.
Do you have any particular plan in the context of Nepal to improve the quality of education? Suggestion from your side?
I know that our NASA administrator came here to Nepal in 2010, and I think that was probably a first step towards bettering relations with Nepal. And it was certainly, I'd like in the future to continue meeting and doing more programming with Nepal. I've been working with the Ever Science Center on possibly having students come back over to NASA. That's something that we're exploring, having them come and actually visit NASA. So I think that would be another really neat step in exploring, advancing education. So we'll see where it goes.
Actually, due to the lack of quality education, more than 30% of Nepali students are leaving the country, going to abroad for the quality education.
Yeah.
How can we decrease that number? What do you say?
I think, it's having to provide more opportunities, like having me come and talk. It's just doing more steps like this. It's it's having places like the Aeronautics Center to offer educational opportunities. It's improving the educational programming that's available. It's it's offering that, just more of that. It's having more people get involved. It's got to come from within, and that's hard. That's hard.
Actually, the huge amount is being invested by the parents for their.
Yes.
From your side, what kind of assessment program can be held for the student? What kind of plan to solve the problem from the root?
From the root. So from NASA point of view, we have all sorts. Again, we have all sorts of programs that we can offer. As far as information that we can provide, as far as publications that we can provide, we have, I know that the Aeronautics Center is looking at bringing students over to NASA as sort of an exchange. I think, again, it's about trying to help parents instill that curiosity in their students from the get-go.
We are at the end of the program, and at the end of the program, what do you want to share with your opinion with our viewers, and what is your last message even for our Nepali government?
I'd say just to continue that interest and continue studying and to continue that exploration. I think it's really important, and I really do think that Nepal is got a lot of opportunity, although I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it. I think it really does have a lot of opportunity, and I just really hope to be able to see some of the students that I met today at NASA.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much from our whole team of Musical Television. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
र दर्शकवृन्द, आजको कार्यक्रमको निर्धारित समय सकिएको छ। आज हामीले विज्ञान र प्रविधिसँग सम्बन्धित रहेर नासाकी म्यानेजर एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्क र नासाकी म्यानेजर एलिजाबेथ लेब्ल्याङ्कलाई नेपाल ल्याउन महत्त्वपूर्ण भूमिका निर्वाह गर्ने एभरेस्ट साइन्स सेन्टरका सञ्चालक डाक्टर दिलीप अधिकारीसँग कुराकानी गर्यो। अर्को इस्युमा अर्को विषयमा छलफल गर्ने बाचा सहित आजलाई हामीलाई बिदा दिनुहोस्। नमस्ते।
स्पोन्सर्ड बाय अरनिको उच्चमावि विराटनगर 13 3 टोलिया। फोन नम्बर 021 470 149 र 622 092।
कञ्चनजङ्घा हायर सेकेन्डरी स्कुल, मेन रोड, विराटनगर। फोन नम्बर 021 470264 471473।
Lord Buddha College, Viratnagar. +2 Management, +2 Hotel Management, +2 Science, +2 Computer Science, EBS and MBS.
मनमोहन स्मृति पोलिटेक्निकल। फोन नम्बर 021 62 20 58 42 08 76। मदर टेरेसा स्कुल, विराटनगर 12 VIP मार्ग। फोन नम्बर 021 525325।
मदरल्यान्ड स्कुल, जमुनागाछी, विराटनगर 5। कन्ट्याक्ट नम्बर 9842041511।